What we believe in the world of CX, and the higher you go in the organization, the more executives believe this, is that we don't get paid a heck of a lot when we fall short of expectations. You didn't need me here to tell you that, of course. We all knew that. But we also tend to believe that we don't earn a lot of incremental loyalty from our customers simply by doing what they expect. If that's all we do, it's not good enough. The belief out there is that we've got to do more than what the customer expects. We've got to go above and beyond. We've got to exceed their expectations, produce that moment of delight or that moment of wow. But when we test this with data, we find the effect is almost exactly the opposite. So first, customers actually agree. They don't want a subpar experience either. But look at this, two big takeaways I'd encourage you to take from this graphic. The first is, look how much loyalty we generate when we simply do what customers expect us to do. And look how little marginal loyalty we generate when we do more than what they expect us to do. This phenomenon has now been well documented in human psychology and behavioral economics. There's an article, which I'm sure you all caught, in the Journal of Social Psychology and Human Behavior from last year. Two Chicago psychologists did a study where they actually, between humans, between people, friends, colleagues, family members, etc., they found that the negative consequences of breaking a promise to a counterparty, to the person on the other side, the recipient, is far worse. The effect of that, of breaking a promise, is far worse than the good that you get if you do more than what the counterparty expects. So the lesson there is keep your promises, deliver on your promises, and don't try to go above and beyond. And by the way, if your friend or your family member is not blown away because you did more than what they expected, don't blame them. They're just human. It's just the way that we kind of operate as humans. Now, I'll tell you, I've been out presenting this for a number of years now, and when I first started presenting it, it was a little bit like the stages of grieving. There was anger, and then there was denial, and then we got to acceptance eventually, but we don't have time for that, so we're just going to rush through to the answer. But it's interesting, if we test this in our own experience, think about what we celebrate internally, right? I visit a lot of CX organizations, customer care organizations, and you walk the halls of call centers and almost every single one has sort of a wall of fame, right? We post the thank you notes, the tweets, the Facebook messages, the letters our customers write to our board members and our CEO, praising our people for going above and beyond when things are really tough, when they really need our help. We celebrate that, right? When that stuff happens, we pull that rep up in front of everyone, we give them a Starbucks gift card, and we tell everyone else to go out and do the same thing, right? We celebrate those moments. It's what we are all about because it feels really good. And it makes for great PR in branding and marketing, of course. But when you test it in your own experience and you think of yourselves as customers, we struggle actually to think of those brands that we're loyal to simply because they always exceed our expectations. Now, when I ask people that question, think of the companies you are loyal to, not because their product is great, but because the way they handle you from a service perspective. The experience is so above and beyond. Usually people can come up with a short list of companies. It's this resort I go to with my significant other on special occasions and they treat us like gold. Or it's the bar, it smells kind of bad, but it's downtown and it's in town and they know my name, it's like Cheers, that sort of thing. Or it's the restaurant where, the service is just impeccable. We can think of a few examples, but if you think about the opposite for a moment, what are the brands that you will never spend another dime with because they wronged you in a service interaction? That list is pretty long. Right? We all come up with that list. It's the airline that lost our bag and claimed we never put it on the plane, right? It's the dry cleaner that ruined our favorite dress or suit and didn't reimburse us. These kinds of experiences, the cable company that came 5 minutes after the 12-hour window, which always happens. No offense to the cable folks here. So when we test this with our own experience, it actually rings kind of true. And what we found in the data is that delight in the eyes of customers only happens about 16% of the time. And that delight is actually pretty expensive to deliver. It's 10 to 20% more expensive to deliver a delightful experience than just meeting customer expectations. So the takeaway here for companies as they sort of think through this is, wow, it costs us a lot of money to delight our customers. Delight comes down to refunds and givebacks and free stuff and escalated calls and long calls and all these sorts of things. Maybe we should focus on just doing what our customers expect from us. Good, old-fashioned, plain vanilla, hitting service expectations with consistency. That's sort of the takeaway. But this is